is up, Wastelanders, and welcome back to the Pit Boys podcast, the Fallout podcast here on Shared Screens, where we cover all things Fallout. We've been ranking and reviewing the vaults the last couple weeks. If you haven't seen those episodes, highly recommend you go back and check them out. And within those episodes, we have a little nuclear Fallout news segment. But this week, too much news, insane amount of news. So we thought
Too
we'd just do a
much.
podcast covering it all right here, right now. My regular co-host, Austin, sick with radiation poisoning, probably just growing a third arm out his belly button. So my man from the ones and twos is with
Ouch.
me, Alec. We got Alec here today. How you doing, man?
Yo, doing good. Coming hot off that GTA 6 trailer reaction.
God
So go
damn.
check that out if you haven't
Yes,
seen it yet.
100%. If you haven't seen that, check it out. But we're about to get into the news, so much of it. And before we get into it, though, usually we have a episode of Elite Four and the Pit Boys kind of alternating week to week. But we did push the Elite Four to next week, uh, because there's just so much Fallout stuff.
So much. So
Yeah,
much.
yeah. So thanks, Jordan, for doing that for us. But
Yes.
we're here. We're here to cover Fallout stuff. Let's just get into it. I think the big one, right? We had a little breadcrumb trail all last week of Fallout news
hmm
building up, and then Saturday hits and the trailer's there. Oh my God! What are your initial reactions, Alec?
I mean, as somebody who have mentioned, throughout the first few episodes, not have in the last few years recently got into Fallout. So
Yeah,
not like I'm still pretty new to the franchise, but
mm,
man, that trailer just nails the vibe of what Fallout is.
100%, 100%.
And like I showed it to my friend who's never like I think he dabbled a little bit into 4, but he wasn't like into it
Yeah,
the way we were.
mm,
And I just remember showing it like I was telling him about it when he was over watching the football game.
yeah.
And I told him about the part where it said from the producers of the people who make the boys and free 2-day shipping. And he just started bursting out laughing. It's like,
Incredible joke, man.
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that. I couldn't agree more. Back on the first episode when we were covering some Fallout news, and we were talking about the show, I said the biggest thing that the show has to nail is the aesthetic and the vibe of the world. And this isn't really a story trailer. We don't have a whole lot
Mm-mm.
of the plot or what's going on. It is purely just visual eye candy. And
Oh yeah.
it looks like they are nailing the trailer or nailing the aesthetics at least. From inside the vaults, the world alone, whatever town we're in with the ghoul there,
Yeah.
all the creatures, seeing a rad road, seeing the
Yeah.
bear just maul at a
Power armor.
power armor suit, like
Yeah.
it is insane. Some big standout
The
moments for me too. I love the violence. We are seeing dudes just get blasted, ripped apart.
mhm.
That is
The
awesome.
weird tentacle monster.
The weird tentacle monster. I feel like they are putting a lot of budget behind it, and it
Mhm.
shows. Um,
I mean, just that last shot of the trailer with like all the nuclear bombs going
yes,
off.
yes, that is where I was like, we have production value, right?
Yeah.
That just sprawling landscape of Los Angeles. We're looking at it from the Hollywood Hills, and it's just nuke, and then downtown Los Angeles just fucking just
Mhm.
explodes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I am so excited. We get like a little bit of the nukes dropping in game, but just that shot alone,
Yeah.
something else. And I feel like this trailer is giving a lot of people confidence that they have something here, right? Uh,
Mhm.
and I feel like between Halo, the Halo show on Paramount Plus, and between
Ye
The Last of Us, like Xbox and Bethesda, they know they know they got
Yeah.
to bring their A game here, and
Yep.
Amazon as well. And I think that's why the production value is as high as it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, because they shown and shows like, The Boys and Gen V, like, you have that production value behind it, it just makes it that much more believable that,
Oh
like
yeah.
especially, we'll be talking about the Vanity Fair article here in a bit, but, Like, they talked about, doing all the prosthetics and doing a lot of, not green screen,
Mhm.
shoots or shooting
Right.
in that. It's like, just that kind of putting that value, production value into these shows is what really makes them shine.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And having that old timey aesthetic, right, with the world, and seeing like I don't know, supplies or shop written out in like different like sign
Yeah.
pieces, like just little touches like that that just nail the Fallout universe
Mhm.
was the biggest thing to me. And then of course they got the Burger Birds and the helicarrier, like in the
Yeah.
distance, like those
The
things.
turrets, those
The
robot butlers.
Dude, the turrets were insane. Like seeing
Yeah.
those pop up, like I had PTSD of like when you hear the sound in game, right? They just start firing at you, and then it cuts them just shooting at dog meat. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, bro, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I was like clenching a little bit there. I was like
Oh,
scared
for
for
sure.
yeah, which I want this show to do.
Oh, and then you see dog meat just ripping a dude's hand off.
Right? Yeah, I love that. There's not a whole lot of dialogue in this trailer, but the little bit we do, vault dwellers are, uh, a dying breed, like
Mhm.
um, they're kind of like being extinct or hunted almost. Like I'm very interested what's being said there, right? And then
Mhm.
just some more about adapting. And yeah, we've got that dog meat moment. We also have Chris Parnell drinking a moldy coffee. So I think there's definitely some humor in the trailer, and I'd say so far it's hitting. It's
Oh,
hitting.
yeah.
I'm interested to see what the rest of the show looks like when it comes to the comedy and stuff like that. Another big thing for me in the trailer, we see Walton Goggins pre-war get on a horse.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see that background stuff too.
Mhm.
And then,
Just see him just sniping people with a shotgun.
oh yeah, dude, that shit. We're gonna get into it a little bit later, his background, but that shit was giving Mandalorian.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was awesome, dude.
Do we see him as a Mandalorian?
Dude, Mando season 4 comes out and he takes off his helmet and Goggins is in Star Wars as the
It's him,
Mandalorian.
what's the I'm forgetting the sheriff,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
Oh,
had
boy.
Boba Fett's armor.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Cobb Van.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You have, like, him, Boba Fett, and and
dude.
Walton Goggins all together,
Hell
just
yeah.
squatting up.
That's a killer trio right there, dude. Oh my god, and he's a ghoul under the Mando mask.
Yeah.
I love that shit so much. Yeah, we get some pretty nuke stuff that intrigued me.
Mhm.
One other big thing that intrigued me, we know some shit's going down in the vault. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
some people kind of freak out. Almost seems like they're infected with something, and it's kind of pushing our main character away. We see a shot of her kind of pressed up against a sealed door with her maybe her father on the other side, someone she clearly cares about, and they're giving that like
Mhm.
one last look of goodbye. And so, for ranking and reviewing the vaults and how fucked up they are, and not, like getting into the lore week to week, I'm excited to see what's going on in this vault.
Mhm. And shout
Uh,
out to Vault 33.
yeah, Vault 33. Shout out to fucking a Spider-Man do a flip guy
Yeah.
being in the vault.
Yep.
I love that dude. And I'm excited when he pops up and stuff. Also, apparently, in Severance. Haven't seen that, but dope that he's in
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I'm very very excited. This trailer left me wanting more.
Oh, yeah.
This trailer gave me like the confidence
A
that
great tone setter.
great tone setter, 100%. I don't know. Do you feel like you need more? Do you think like between now and April, one more story trailer will do us good, or are you
Honestly,
ready
I
to just
think
jump in?
I'm ready to jump in, honestly. Like, I
Right.
don't necessarily need another, but, like, I would like to know a bit of, like, the backstory. Like,
I would
it's one of
for
those, like, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like,
right.
I don't really
Yeah.
need it.
Oh
It'd be
yeah.
cool.
I agree. I like this is such a like we said a tone setter, right? It's establishing the aesthetics and the vibe.
Mhm.
I could go for maybe like a 90-second, just like, hey, here's what's going on type
Yeah.
deal, right? But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you know what? The less I know, the better, right? I'm already sold.
Yep.
I'm watching this when it drops in April, but my God,
Yeah.
we are eating. Moving on from
Mm.
that though, another just gorgeous tone set, just vibe setter. We got four character
Mhm.
posters essentially. One being Lucy, the Vault Dweller. We also
Yep.
got the Ghoul with Walter Goggins and
Mhm.
Maximus with I can't remember the actress's name, the actor's name. I loved him. And
Yeah.
one more with dog meat. I thought the
Mm.
dog meat one was just so fucking funny when they dropped three
Oh,
character
yeah.
posters and then one just an extra one with dog
Just
meat.
a
Like
dog meat.
he's just that integral to the
Yep.
show and the universe. I love that so much. What
Oh,
are your
yeah.
thoughts on these posters?
Honestly, I think my favorite's probably the one of, Lucy leaving the vault.
Yeah,
Just because you just see the aesthetic, you see parts, the Ferris wheel from, the pier,
right.
um, just like the world just like kinda just devastated from the
Yeah,
nuclear war,
yeah.
and her just I don't know, it's just a cool aesthetic of the vault. It never gets cooler in fall than the vault, leaving the vault for the first time,
I agree. I agree. That
and they
like
just encapsulated that moment perfectly.
yeah, yeah. It almost seems like a little better executed in the posters than in the trailer. We know they're trying to replicate the like
Yep.
hand in the air thing, and I think it could come across corny. I personally would like them to do it in first person, similar
Oh,
to the
yeah.
games, right?
I th I think that's probably why is because in first person, it makes sense why they're doing that, like
Yeah, yeah. And so then when you just see the actress and she just
mhm.
like this in the stills and in the trailer, it's like it's a little weird. But
Yeah.
if like episode one ended with just a first person point of view, and we're getting that, oh my
Mhm.
god! And then we pick up, and she's kind of doing that in episode two, and then we pick up from there. Like that's what I'd like.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, no, that wandering out of the vaults into this just brave new post-apocalyptic world is awesome. I love that poster too.
Mhm.
I just love the design of all these posters, the
Oh, yeah.
silhouettes with a character just kind of in the doorway, right? Whether it's seemingly a
Mhm.
saloon with the ghoul or the vertibird with Maximus, all of
Yep.
them are awesome. I would take out the Fallout logos. If I could just get a clean version of this, I would hang it on these walls. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
they are dope posters, right? Take out all the Amazon branding, the Fallout branding, all that. I would just
Mhm.
post these out. I'd make them my phone lock screen. Like these are chef's kiss posters.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
honestly, go for it.
I was just right along those lines, like, I wish I had the Photoshop talent to get rid of
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, a little magic eraser action and yeah,
Right.
post up. I'm sure somebody's already done it on like r/Fallout,
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
I would absolutely take these wallpapers, please and thank you. Oh my god, they look dope as hell. Um, and I kind of hope we
Just
don't get.
imagine all 4 hung up next to each other on the
Oh,
wall.
dude, that would be incredible. I hope we don't get any other posters for the show. Like I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
like I don't. We don't need like a big one, like the big head posters or the floating head poster. I mean, where it's just
Yeah.
like the three main characters, and
Like
then
the MCU posters, we don't need
yeah,
those.
yeah, the MCU posters, all the action movie posters. We do not need one of those for this show. This is already incredible, right? We talked
Yeah.
about the AI scandal with like that one poster a few months ago, looking like the cars were all done up in AI. This is
Mhm.
just such the polar opposite.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is selling it. This is incredible. If we didn't have the trailer and we just had the posters alone, I'd be the posters and the stills. I'd almost be
Oh, yeah.
sold based on that.
Yep.
Yeah. But moving on to that, we got a big Vanity Fair article just deep diving into a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, some more lore, some more like
Mhm.
tidbits, and I love it. I love it so much. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
reading stuff like this. We also got stills, but I think a lot of those stills were in the trailer. Like I can't think of a
Yes.
single one that wasn't. So if you looked at the stills and you've seen the trailer, you've seen both. We've covered both. Um,
Yeah, scrolling through the article, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure everything was in the trailer.
right. But still, like awesome stills to just give us that little tease, right? Seeing Goggins,
Mhm.
four armor suits walking down together, like seeing all the stills were incredible. But let's get into some of the news. Of course, we've covered three main characters. We got Lucy, the Vault Dweller, the Ghoul. a bounty hunter. That's
Yeah.
fucking dope.
Yeah.
What? Like
Yeah.
that's a cool role for Walter Goggins to have. And then of course Maximus, the brother of Steel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, the Vault Dweller is Lucy,
Mhm.
who's played by Ella Purnell.
Mhm.
Maximus is played by Aaron Moten, who's the
Okay.
Brotherhood of Steel member.
Yeah.
Uh, the article says a wannabe soldier.
Ooh,
And it
okay.
says,
Interesting.
because I guess they had an interview with Jonathan Nolan or Jonah Nolan, I guess is
Mhm.
what he prefers to be called.
Right.
Which I didn't know he was Christopher Nolan's brother.
Yeah.
Um, but the I guess way of saying that he's more like a kind of a squire kind
Okay.
of character in terms of the Brotherhood of Steel, where he
Okay.
ranks.
Right.
And then
Interesting.
they actually call him the Ghoul in the
Mhm.
article, not just Ghoul, like
The
some people were speculating before.
That's dope.
But it's Walton Goggins plays him.
Goggins. Yeah. Goggins Hive, of course, for
Oh yeah.
amazing tasty. Buzz Buzz. Uh yeah, I didn't see this protagonist thing coming,
Mm-mm,
but
not at all.
it makes so much sense for Fallout, right? And especially like when you play Fallout, you get to know all these different factions, and of course they kind of like make you align or choose with one, right? Especially in four, they're like, oh, the Railroad or the Institute, the Brotherhood of Steel, like what
Hmm.
are you choosing? So it's hard to do that in a
The
show.
Minutemen.
The Minutemen, exactly. So it's hard to do that in a show, right? But I like that they're still kind of intertwining and giving us reasons to care about these factions,
Yep.
right? Walter Goggins kind of representing the everyday wastelander almost, or
Hmm.
something along those lines. We got the Vault Dweller with Lucy, and then we got a Squire in the Brotherhood with Maximus. I'm very interested to see what's kind of the MacGuffin or the kind of thing to like intertwine in
Yeah.
these stories.
The article did. I thought I kind of got something interesting from the article about
Mhm.
like the reason why Lucy's leaving the vault, and I guess it's something to do with the vault dwellers having money, and
Okay,
she got kicked out because I guess she doesn't have any money.
interesting. Oh, interesting. Similar to kind of the gambling we talked about last week on last week's
Hmm.
the Pit
Yeah,
Boys episode. Interesting. Okay,
yeah.
I like that. I like that
And I
quite a
guess
bit.
her dad's the overseer.
Right. Okay. Okay. Shit. Yeah. So now when she's out, I'm interested to see what's going on
Hmm.
with her, and like my biggest fear with the triple protagonist news is that it's kind of just I don't know if it's fully confirmed, but IMDb was saying 8 episodes. I would hate if it was just like two with Lucy, two
Ah, yeah.
with Maximus, and two with the Ghoul. Like I kind of
And
want to.
then like the last couple are just them kind of intertwining
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
for
kind of
whatever the
want this
plot is.
intertwined from episode one all the way
Yeah.
to episode eight, right? I want to, kind of spend
Hmm.
some time with Lucy, and then go to the Ghoul, and then kind of almost forget about Lucy. But then by the time she comes back, like, be like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing, right?
Hmm.
Kind of intertwine the three, juggling it, similar to like Infinity War juggles the
Oh
three
yeah.
main
Yep.
plots, right? And stuff like that. Like that's what I want out of hearing this triple protagonist is. But
Yep.
super glad they're all part of different factions, and we're going to get our sights in there. I was talking with my best friend who's a big Fallout head. He said he wants to see the NCR, the new California Republic, I believe it is,
Okay.
from Fallout New Vegas. I'm like, I didn't even put the two together that we could because it is set in
'Cause
California.
yeah.
But I feel like that's juggling a lot. So
Mhm.
these three factions,
Season 2.
season two, 100% season two. These three factions along the all we really need. And then yeah, the next
Mhm.
tad big piece of news that I felt coming out of this director of I think half the episodes, maybe more, and executive producer Jonathan Nolan, chosen for his work on Interstellar, Christopher Nolan's brother, as a
Yep.
gamer, right? And if Todd
Mhm.
Howard like handpicked this guy, I feel like we're in good hands. You
Oh,
know?
yeah. Like, I read in the article that he was literally like yeah, I guess they've been because 'cause he's been wanting to do some sort of, like, Fallout TV show, movie, or whatever. He's been, like, meeting with a bunch of producers and all that, and
Mhm.
I he was just like, "You know what? Let's just see if he'll do it." Like, if
Right,
he doesn't do it, like, I don't know who I'd want to do it, and then I guess they had a meeting, and it's like, "Oh, yeah. Nope, they'll do it," and
100%. That's dope. I hope with that that kind of also eases some worries, right? Having
Oh, for sure.
someone who has worked on some of the best films ever created with his brother Christopher
Mhm.
Nolan, and then him being a gamer and hopefully understanding the lore and stuff like that going on in the Fallout universe. Hopefully, there's just some love and some
Mhm.
care traded with this, and I feel like it is because another big tidbit, it's set in the same universe. It's
Yeah,
all
canon.
taking place. It's in the Fallout canon. They had people from Bethesda go through and make sure that all those pieces and the scripts and stuff like that aren't messing up with the lore of Fallout 3
Mhm.
or New Vegas or 4, and that it's
Dotting the
still it.
T's, crossing the I's,
Yes, exactly, and
or
that
other
is
way around.
just. English is hard, man. Spelling is
It
hard.
really
I'm
is.
with you. But yeah, no, that's another reassuring thing. I don't know if you're the same way, but when it's like there's a video game adaptation or anything like that, we start talking about canon and stuff, right? Especially being big Star Wars nerds, right?
Mhm.
Canon, I think, is very important, and so you almost kind of get hesitant who's working on the canon, right? Because like, what if they just make
Yeah.
decisions you're not fucking with? I feel like
Mhm.
that's a little scary, right? But I think with Bethesda being so hands on and Todd being pretty hands on and them kind of just making sure that this fits in the universe and in the existing canon, I think that's kind of reassuring, right?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah, him being an executive producer on the show, it's like,
mhm,
and him basically getting the person that he wanted to work on this. That's like,
exactly.
it's in good hands.
Yeah, and there's a quote from him in the article from Todd being like, we got pitched Fallout 3 movies, Fallout 3 shows that follow the plot.
Mhm.
I wasn't interested in telling that story back because we've already told that story, right?
Yep.
Revisiting those stories just doesn't make sense. That was reassuring, right? That they are making sure that this is something new and in universe and fits. Um, that's awesome, right? And
Yeah.
to me, another big quote was just him saying, "We want to tell a unique like I wanted this to tell a unique Fallout story." Was massive to me because I feel like that's Todd, in my head, in the way I read that, that is Todd now kind of being open to the idea of other people playing in these massive IPs that he's helped
Mhm.
lift and raise to next level stuff. Uh, I just hope we get that with games too. Like
Oh,
stop
for sure.
stop gatekeeping these worlds and let other people quote unquote cook, right, and make up unique stuff. We're not going to get the next Todd Howard if Todd Howard's the only one that can be in here make creatively leading Fallout
Mhm.
5, right? And with Fallout 5, it being almost 10 years since Fallout 4, Fallout 5, a distant dream way out on the horizon. It's like, come on, like let's
Yeah.
let's have some other people, some other creative leads start cooking, like we said a couple episodes ago. It's Mad Libs, right? You just kind of
Oh, yeah.
what's a location, what's a family member looking for a different, family member, right? Like you can just
Like,
plug and pull these pieces in,
oh,
right?
seriously, like, you especially the one thing I just lately thought of is, like, you've been all over the East Coast with the games, now you're on the West Coast with obviously with, like, New Vegas and, now the show.
Mhm.
You got the whole middle of the country to deal with, like,
100%, 100%. That we have other countries to deal with
that other
like
countries, yeah.
completely, total nuclear war, right? That I think there's a massive mod for 4 called like Fallout UK or Fallout Britain, something like that,
Oh, okay.
it's almost like a new story being made with Fallout 4 mods,
Hmm,
right? Like the
that's cool.
universe is just so ripe for the picking.
Oh, for
Let's
sure.
let's finally, hopefully this show goes
Branch
over
out.
well, get some more seasons, maybe some more anthology stuff, but then hopefully that trickles over to the game side too. And we have,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be Fallout 5, but it can be Fallout blank, similar to New
Yeah.
Vegas, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout blank, and we can just have more games. Oh,
Mhm, and they don't even need to be, like, crazy huge ones either, like, you can do almost like the Miles Morales, like, equivalent,
100%.
like
Yeah, yeah. Give us half the map of Fallout 4 or whatever, or set in a new location,
Mhm.
right? Just small little stuff. I wholeheartedly agree with that take. Um, Other stuff too from the news article talking about how it's kind of morally going to be gray. I thought that was
Yep.
very interesting. It's giving Joel Miller, right? He's not
Yes.
necessarily the good guy. He's not necessarily the bad guy in The Last of Us, depending upon how you view it in that story. But I thought that was really
Mhm.
interesting, right? We're taking place, bombs drop 2077, 219 years after the fact. Who's to say what a good guy is and what is a bad guy, right? Like
Yeah, the
we're
quote from the article, I think this is right from, Jonathan Nolan,
mhm,
is one of the things we're trying to, gently sidestep here is the kind of binary thinking. Like,
mhm,
they're the good guys or the bad guys. Whoever the good guys and the bad guys were, they destroyed the whole world. So now we're in a much more gray area.
100% right. And that's what I always love about Fallout 2 is seeing these factions and kind of being like, oh yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel is kind of a bunch of fascists, and they really hate fucking
Mhm.
ghouls and all the non-human creatures in this existing world, and kind of want to like get rid of that and have their own power and rule. Like, we're dealing with some bad people and some bad factions. And
Mhm.
seeing all that is, I think, seeing that translate to the show, I think it's going to be really interesting.
Oh, yeah, and the one thing I, thought of is, like, they're gonna have a little bit of an uphill battle to climb there because they showed how well that can be in season one of The Last of Us.
100%. Yeah, where we are meeting random people across the road, like across the journey, and
Hmm.
we're like kind of sympathizing with them, but like at the same time, they're bad people. Are like, yeah, I agree. When we're in spoilers for The Last of Us on HBO, by the way, but like
Hmm.
the one faction where the woman's like lost her brother
Yeah,
and is hunting
Catherine, I think.
Catherine, yeah, right, and
Yeah.
she's hunting Henry and Sam and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But then when we get to see her side, we're like, okay, well, she's kind of got, she's hunting people we care about, but she's
Hmm.
kind of got a point, like there
Yeah.
is just no right and wrong, no good and bad. It's
Hmm.
just so long as you can, clearly establish those motivations and why people are doing what they're doing. Fuck yeah, give me a
Yeah.
Walton Goggins, like the ghoul doing some fucked up shit, right? But make me sympathize
Yep.
with him, right? Have Lucy, be too pure for the world or shit like that, right? And have us
Yep.
understand that, right? Same with Maximus and the Brotherhood of Steel. Like, make me give a shit about the Brotherhood of Steel, right? Make me want to root for them, but at the same
Hmm.
time, be like, y'all are a bunch of fuckers. But I see where I see where they're coming from, Like
Yep.
that's what I want, 100%. Um, Other than that, though, I think the last big thing I always thought of was the Vault Boy getting some lore and background.
Hmm.
Fuck, I'm
Getting
just
an
gonna
origin story.
get in an origin story. I'm just gonna go on a bit of a rant. I don't like being the guy on Twitter who just sees something like with the typical angry gamer on Twitter who
Hmm.
sees something and quote tweets it and is fucking just hating on it right away. I'm gonna try to reserve some judgment until the show comes out and we see what that
Hmm.
background story looks like. But the idea of it alone, I fucking hate. I hate so goddamn much. Like it's giving prequels levels of let's explain unnecessary shit that doesn't need to be explained,
Yeah.
right? Star Wars comes
Yeah.
out, establishes the universe, the characters, and the elements within it, and then George Lucas is like, actually, let me give you a lot of background context and lore and explain.
Midichlorians.
Yes, dude, that is my prime example. Midichlorians fucking suck. He gave us background answers, and all that shit fucking suck. Why are we
Yep.
doing it here? Why are we doing it here? Fallout has been in the mainstream for 15 years now, since Fallout 3. No one, no one has been like, hey, what's that dude's background story? What is
Right.
what is going on with the Pit Boy, right? No one's asking for that. And if you know someone felt like that was a story worth telling, someone at Bethesda would have done that.
Yeah.
They would have done that in 3, New Vegas, or 4. Fuck, they even made a whole mobile game with a bunch of little like Pit Boys or Vault Boys style characters.
Mhm.
They didn't give us the origin story there. Why are we doing it in the show? Like what
Yeah.
the fuck? Right? And like
It's
for
just
me,
Vault-Tech's, like, iconography, like, their logo, like,
exactly.
that's
Exactly.
all the backstory you need.
Right? For like to me a great adaptation, you know, explains stuff for newcomers and gives context and a lot of background for series veterans and like existing fans,
Mhm.
right? That's what it should do. That should be the perfect balance, right? Explain the new stuff, give context for the new fans, and explain stuff for the existing fans. We do not need to do that with the Vault Boy. All right, that's like if
Mm.
The Last of Us was like, here's how Joel got his famous revolver. No, nobody wants that. Nobody's asking that. Nobody's wondering about that, right? What
How
does
he got the brick.
exactly, dude? Nobody asked that. What did they do? They gave background. They explained the outbreak, and they gave
Yeah.
background context on the outbreak. Right by 15 minutes into The Last of Us, you're 20 years into the apocalypse. You don't know.
Mhm.
Well, like fans didn't know shit about the outbreak, but then they do this show in the 60s. The first half of the pilot, we spend like seeing how Joel's immediate community is being in fact like impacted by the cordyceps. We see people starting to
Mhm.
slowly turn, right? And then episode 2 we see how the cordyceps like like affect the human body, and we get that awesome scene with the scientists being like, bombs, we need to just drop bombs.
Yeah.
Giving background context and explaining that to the new fans and series veterans was fucking awesome in The Last of Us. And this show has like the Fallout universe has so much that's ripe for the picking for giving like
Mhm.
explaining that too, right? We got like like who dropped the nukes, right? What does it look like across the world, right? How was this
What are
country
the
impacted,
vaults?
right? What about the vaults, right? More into that backstory, that lore, right? That can be explained and fleshed out a lot more
Mhm.
than the fucking mascot. What the fuck? That's like that's like Kellogg's being like, here's the background story for Tony the Tiger. Nobody's asking for that shit,
No,
man. Like what the hell?
no.
So it's a weird decision,
Agreed.
but I don't know because this background story could be 5 minutes in an episode, but still,
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather spend that 5 minutes explaining anything else than this. But
Yep.
I don't know. If a whole episode is dedicated to him, we failed, right? If it's a couple minutes,
Yeah.
okay. But still, I'd rather not.
I I couldn't see Todd Howard letting an entire episode be dedicated to
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I agree, but I guess maybe Todd was like, you guys have a good point. Maybe we should explain this. But again, in the 15 years that Fallout has been in the mainstream, who the fuck is asked for this? Like
Mhm.
insane, insane. Again, I'll hold out and I'll wait and see. I'll bite my tongue. I'm not gonna fucking yell on Twitter about this shit, but it's just a weird decision to me. It's so
Mhm.
fucking weird.
I mean, maybe we're just smarter as gamers, like, we don't need
Yeah,
every little thing to be told us to us as backstories.
yeah, exactly. We understand that is the in-universe and the real life logo mascot
Mhm.
for Fallout and the vaults. We don't need that explanation, but I'm sure there's someone who's going to watch the show for the first time and be like, "Why that guy?" I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know their reasoning, but there's just so many other things to just show, right? We've never seen the immediate aftermath of the bombs, and like
Mhm.
what that looks like day one after, right? We've always
Like,
been 200 years out.
yeah, like, that'd be honestly something cool, kind of, similar to how The Last of Us, they started off with, like, talk show in, like, what was it, the '70s or
Yeah,
'60s talking about
exactly.
cordyceps, and,
Hmm.
like, that'd be almost cool to do something like have, like, a vault tech, like, almost like not quite propaganda, but, like, like, the old-timey kinda thing, like, doing,
Yeah, the
uh,
60s
talking
Cold
about
War
the
era, like,
yeah, talking about vaults or something like that,
mhm,
because, like, to have all these vaults, you have to be doing a lot of prep time before, like, you
yeah,
can't just, like, put them up all, like, that year.
100%. 100%. And if we got 20 minutes of like seeing, the enemy faction uh, get get prepared to drop bombs on the
Mhm.
rest of the world, and then we see the U.S. kind of prepare vaults in case that happens, and to see these two factions like
Yeah.
go at the same time, and then nuclear fallout happens. That would be awesome. Give us 20 minutes of that. Don't give us the fucking background story for the fucking mascot, dude. Oh, but that is the only thing. That was the only thing in all this news where I'm just
Mhm.
like, what are we doing here? Other than that, I thought it was all incredible. Do you have
Yeah.
any last big takeaways? Any other things stand out to you?
I think we covered everything, honestly,
I
like,
think so
it
too.
there was a lot of news that dropped, like like,
Yeah,
even, like, before we even got the trailer, I'm just like, "Do we just make this episode just a news episode?" Like
I was starting to think the same thing. I was like, yeah, man, we're gonna be at an hour and a half if we have news and then a whole vault
Mhm.
to get into the lore
Yeah.
too. So here we are covering all the Fallout show news for you. Let us know what was your favorite piece. What did you think about the trailer, the posters, any of the stuff we covered? We will be back in a couple weeks ranking and reviewing the next vault. Elite Four will be back next week. We got Shared Screens Podcast, Media Club still coming out. Some big things coming up. So subscribe, stay tuned to us. Uh, and other than that, we have been the Pit Boys. We are out.